getting clothing for Boone during the trial. How was that?
Yeah, so as you might remember, the trial did start jury selection last week before it was delayed midway. And there was a delay there because Sarah Boone can get her clothes. Now, this is important because her attorney doesn't want potential jurors to see her in that jail jumpsuit. They want her to be seen in normal clothes. So today she actually came out with the same outfit and jail slippers, as I mentioned.
Oh my God. Only you would think that you could hide that powder blue, puffy sleeved, it's kind of a peasant dress, but it might just be a baggy disaster of questionable fiber content that you wore to the spring dance. Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
There's been an issue with getting her clothes. That was one of the big topics that her attorney spoke with the judge today, and they said that they seem to have worked that out.
Welcome back. Okay, look, I made that intro for a video I was going to do in the past during the trial, but that moment has come and gone. I'm never going to use it again, so I said, why not now? But yeah, welcome back. This is not like a real video. I'm actually just taking a clip out of my interrogation video that I did. You know, the 11-hour behemoth that I released, the unnecessarily long retrospective analysis of Sarah Kathryn Paulsen.
Escaping. The killer is escaping. Help me.
And her downfall into the abyss of madness, nonsensicality, and misery. This video covers the text message portion from there. I read only a portion of this notes app entry. After going through his phone, after she got him arrested, she said she didn't have his phone. She did have his phone, and she went through the whole thing, found out that he was talking with other girls on it, decided to absolutely lay into him, and she wrote this all drafted up in a notes app, which, I mean, look, most people pop off in the notes app before bringing it to real life anyway. I get that. No shame there. However, what she did and how she did is absolute absurdity. And I need to contextualize this under: one, they both were cheating on each other. Two, they both got together through cheating. So three, they have no right to be upset anyway if the other one is cheating. So George was talking with a bunch of women online and through his phone, and Sarah was actually going on dates with people.
So why is he over here today?
Because he wants to win me over. That's what he told me.
Okay. So
I'm not allowed to leave him.
you're
Tell people fuck no.
okay.
He's mad because I went out with my girlfriend.
Okay.
And she introduced me to another gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a gentleman. He's not a gentleman. And he got pissed.
Okay. So he came over today, you let him in because you're gonna talk, right?
Yes.
Okay, then what happened?
I got really pissed. Really pissed.
Okay, so you guys start arguing and then
No,
what?
I didn't argue. I can't argue. I was just taking down his speaker.
Okay. So when you said taking down the beat, just describe it for me so I know. What did he do to you? Did he push you? Was he slapping you? Was he punching you?
All of the above.
Okay, but you have to kind of explain to me what happened. You have to tell me like
Into
step
the
by
closet
step.
doors.
Okay, so he threw you into the closet doors? Okay, but you said you don't need the fire department?
No. I just have really bad luck. It'll go away because I'm used to it. It'll go away.
Okay, let me see. Where is it?
Right here.
Can you just put your hand back a little bit?
There's a lump. Right here. Like you can feel it.
Yep, I see it. Do you have any other injuries?
No. I just, because he's not on the lease anymore, I know that he can't, I got him off the lease to not come over here anymore. And I'm trying to get him out of here. And he'll be here every day.
It's almost like he lives there. And if you didn't force him off the lease, he would still live there.
She asked me if she could talk to me privately and asked how she would be able to get George off of the lease. Is there any way to do that? Which prompted, deeper conversation. But, she came to me at one point asking, what do I do? Like, how can I get rid of him?
She makes it sound like, well, I got him off the lease, so he's not here, even though it's something you did behind his back and not because his actual living situation changed. Whatsoever, it didn't. You just decided to get him off the lease so that you could do this and call the police anytime you want. And this is 10 days before she writes this notes app. And she's going on dates and saying that he's getting mad because he's over there every day. Nothing really makes sense. But she says it's because she had broke up with him 2 weeks earlier or 3 weeks earlier, and that's why it was okay. But the same rationale would go for George as well. If you're breaking up with him, why is it bad that he's talking to other people, but you're able to go on dates? You know, it's always a one-sided mess disaster. And this all really centers around the fact that they shared a phone. And by shared a phone, I mean she made him share her phone, quote unquote. And she was mad when he got his own phone. So when he went to jail and she had access to the phone, of course she went through absolutely every little thing she could. So this segment from the interrogation video is of me reading that portion and then breaking down that portion as I did in the original video. So don't expect anything new besides that, but this introduction was the only addition, and now I'm going to play that off because I think it deserves its own video, and those text messages will get their own video at some point in the future. But I still need a break from her for now. And with that, let's dive right in. Again. Which this now transitions back into this cheating whole mess. The text messages that we found out at the trial. This one's actually what she had in her notes app messages before she sent it. And it is so passive aggressive, rude, and just regular aggressive. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read a good chunk of it because it is important. It may not sound important at first, but it is. And you'll notice that every little thing that I bring up that are in these messages, you will see in this interrogation later on, or have already seen it so far. This whole section blows away all of her answers that she has given thus far and proves that she's just full of it and that she meant this 110%. Now, these texts were transcribed by Your True Crime Library. Shout out to them because this was a lot to get through. So thank you for them, and let's get into this drama. I was also thinking the other day how much I miss you sending pictures of yourself throughout the day. Sending me songs you wanted me to hear or thought I'd like. But what I really miss are the kissy love emojis you would send just because. I really miss those, especially the ones with hearts. They'd always make me smile because I knew you were thinking about me. You do Crystal though. Even asked her to FaceTime. You don't do any of these anymore, yet you wear your wedding ring and mine around your neck and tell me how much you love me. But you're telling this woman who looks like TPT you want to snuggle with, take out to a movie, play board games with? Sending music, cutesy, kissy love emojis to like you used to me and could have been but decided to her? Telling her you want to woo her, sweep her off her feet. How do you think that makes me feel? Why don't you say that to me? What would you do if you found me having this convo with Ben or John or anyone other than you? I'd be beaten to a bloody pulp. One of my favorite sayings from Crystal's Facebook, you loved along with so many others, was losing someone who doesn't respect or appreciate you is actually a gain, not a loss. You don't, or have you ever respected or appreciated me?
Y'all don't have any idea what I've done for him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. You get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show you any appreciation.
He did.
By your words in the video, I don't get that.
He did.
Because
especially the appreciation part. Only taken advantage of and disrespected me as a woman. Here's another one you loved. You can't compare me to the next girl because there is no competition. I am one of a kind, and that's real. You made me at one point in our relationship think I was your no competition girl. I know I will be someone's, not yours anymore. You will never find another like me. I found everything on your phone, all your messenger texts, telling Christine you want to meet up with her when she's here, calling her beautiful, thanking nonchalant Quay for adding you and calling her exquisite, telling Pamela Erickson good morning and sending pictures at 12:38 a.m., messaging Camille, then the whole 2-day convo with Crystal. How dare you, and send pictures wearing my wedding ring? You're a cheating, lying scumbag. I will never trust you. Why don't you put your mugshot up? Or I will, since I have your phone, and log in and tell everyone why you're in jail for the 3rd time. Let them know you beat your wife and she put you there because she couldn't take it anymore. Mopeds, Section 8, I dream of Janine then and now. Hillary Clinton, all your Facebook shit, Levi's, all the stupid cats you were hoping would make me like you again. PS4 and all your porn. So disgusting. What you watched at what time on what day? I'd say a prayer for your kids and parents because you've sworn on their lives you weren't or would again, nonetheless, knowing especially how much it hurts me. Same sick, lying, untrustworthy creep you'll always be. I want nothing to do with you ever again. I've become a different person since you've been gone, with less stress, anxiety, and worry. I feel safe, comfortable, happier with you not here or seeing you at all. I can say, though I do have heartbreak after going through your phone, thank you for always proving me right. I knew when you told me your mom gave you one, you'd be back to your slimy ways. You will never change. I hope it was all worth it. All of it. Including losing my debit card for the 3rd time to buy beer cigarettes, which put you back where you belong. I know for a fact you were not worth any of it for me. I just can't believe after everything I've done for you, including all I did to get you out of jail, you do this to me. This is cheating. As you like to say, you, quote, haven't stuck my dick in nobody. You would have already if she lived here, or any of the other gross skanks you've been trying to be friends with. Eventually, you'd probably send one of your old ridiculous dick pics. Only God knows what you've been doing on Instagram or POF. Plenty of fish. What have you ever done for me, rather to me, other than causing heartache, pain, and sadness? I wish you'd try to change my mind like you said you would hers. Does she put scar gel on her wounds every day and have permanent nerve damage where she can't sleep at night from being stabbed in the leg? Has she lied to numerous sheriffs about being beaten? Has she been arrested for fighting for her life? Does she have a baseball bat for protection against you? Has she ever been strangled? Has her debit card been taken and lost over and over to go buy cigarettes, beer? Has her car been taken drunk to go buy more alcohol in the middle of the night with no license, not caring if you destroyed one of her most important necessities, especially having children? Do her kids have a counselor because of you hitting her in front of them? Lied to DCF so they're not taken away or her arrested? If she has pets, have they been kicked and told how much you hate them? Has she ever had a black eye? Has she been lied to over and over about watching porn and promised on her children it won't happen again? Has she had multiple complaints against her where she's been threatened to be evicted? Has she supported you in everything and given feedback to make sure you go in the right direction? Gotten you your ID, birth certificate, and voter's registration card in every aspect so you can actually be an adult with the proper credentials? Done your taxes? So much more that she hasn't done for you or any of the other bitches you're trying to start something with. I have. I can't say have a nice life because you make it shit. You do not anyone else just like you did mine. Son 2, you won't be missed, snake. For someone who doesn't like them, you're extremely cold-blooded and can crawl on your belly like no one I will ever meet. Dirty cheater. Enjoy your filthy porn and jerking yourself off secretly so your parents don't see and your ugly new girlfriends. I can't wait to finally be with a real man, Ben, who will and has taken care of me, even in the few instances we've gone out. treats me with respect and like I'm not, quote, one of the guys. I'm free. As you told Crystal in your messenger text, you're single with a little cutesy dancing dinosaur. Wow. Now you really are. You're desperate, disrespectful, and disgusting. You will never change. I'm always right. You'd think you would do things differently by now so I wouldn't have to be. You've made me feel so ugly inside and out after this, especially calling other women beautiful, love, and exquisite. Not me. Feel good about yourself. We used to have fun and you say nice things to me. Now it's dead like you are to me. Thank you for letting me see your true colors. No wonder you like gray and black so much. Keep collecting stones. You're a heartless, selfish human being. You feel nothing. I will again with someone else, and you will still be the same lying, cheating fraud that you are. Wow. Just wow. That is a lot. That's a lot. And this was in her notes app on June 26, 2019. This is only 8 days after she got him arrested on June 18th, 2019. And that was over the debit card fiasco.
My boyfriend was arrested, I think, last Thursday. And he has a no contact form. And he took it upon himself to come over to my house yesterday and took the bike that I bought for him, which is technically mine, and also my debit card.
Sam, if he bought it, then it's a gift. He didn't.
Okay, that's fine. I need my debit card though. Like, I have my 8-year-old son coming over here and I can't get my groceries for him. Okay, then what's your debit card?
But then, of course, when the police actually arrive, this is when she is like, why are you here? You can't arrest him. Don't do that.
Yeah, I have to. She's here. Other one, yeah, you can stay right here. You can stay right here. He doesn't know that you bought. He doesn't know how to do it.
Babe!
Stop screaming at him. Go back inside.
Sure!
Go back inside. Jesus.
Do you need Jesus right now?
And call mom and pop.
How's Henry over there talking to him?
Why is this
What do you want me to do?
All right, go.
George!
So how quickly things can change from a 911 call to them arriving at your door. That 911 call, because she called the police on him twice in one day, was from the 7 a.m. call in the morning, being like, he took my debit card. I can't buy groceries for my 8-year-old. Of course, she has to throw her son in there. It's probably because she actually needed to go buy alcohol, but saying for her son makes everything seem more important and bigger and more abusive than it actually is. So they come at 7, they go by his family's place, they don't find him. They go by his work, they don't find him. They respect her wishes and just leave it alone because she said she didn't want to get him arrested originally. Then he comes back around noon or whatever, and she calls the police on him again and then tries to blame it on someone else, saying she told me to. Either her friend told her to, or the judge told her to call if she sees him again or something like that. Either way, she did not need to call the police at all on that day. She was not harmed in any way, but she sent him to jail, and he was in there for, I think, weeks over a debit card and her sorry attitude. Because this was only 3 days after the June 15th body cam, where she said,
She's not getting anything else because she's taking him down. Put him under the jail.
He's going.
Under the jail.
which just means the month of June was just a chaotic mess for them as a relationship. I mean, it feels like every month was, but June, they were really on one, or she was really on one. It goes from under the jail to I'll do whatever I can to you'll never change, get out of my life, you're dead to me. And this was his everyday life. That just means when she got him arrested on that day, she went through his entire phone. Still mind-blowing to me. I stand on 10 toes about if you look through your partner's phone without their permission, you deserve to get hurt. Because that's a betrayal of trust as it is, right? You can't just say, oh, well, if you don't have any secrets, you have nothing to hide. It's like, okay, you are intentionally looking for something in order to be upset or to harm yourself. Not to harm yourself, but to like upset your feelings. And when that happens, you're shocked. Because if you look on there and you don't find anything, you're still going to quote find something, because you couldn't have looked through it without finding anything. That would just mean that the whole searching expedition was worthless. So then you find something else to pick at, and it's still just this betrayal, this just invasion of privacy in my mind. It's one thing if y'all have that open conversation of, here's our passcodes to our phone. It's okay if I'm not in the room. You can look through it. That's great. That's healthy. Live on that. But if you don't have that permission and you do it anyway, that does not make you in the right for finding this out. It still doesn't make his actions correct, but ask first. And then if he says no, ask for a better explanation. You know, if you're really hung up about it, you can keep going with it, but it's just doing it without asking, trying to be secretive about it, and then being shocked when everything happens. If you don't trust your mans, if you don't trust your womans, if you don't trust your person, odds are they cheating anyway. And you were just looking for the answer to confirm what you already knew. And so that's the nuance. If you search and you're not upset, you know, that's fine. Like, you searched through it, you found their confirmation, you're like, I knew it. And then you keep moving. Okay, you did your thing, you handle your business, you went in with a mission, and you did what you did. But if you go in there saying, I just have to know, and then you find out and you are just destroyed inside, well, what did you expect to find? And in most cases, it's not going to be him talking to 6, 7 other women, because damn, he was busy on that phone. But it's the other things too. It's you looking up the mopeds, the Section 8, the Hillary Clinton. Like, you're going through his entire search history, looking at porn. She has something against porn, and I'm sure it's rooted in insecurities and probably religious beliefs or something like that. But the way she brought it up like 3 separate times of, I can't believe you're looking at porn, which is another thing, that if you think your partner looking at porn is them cheating on you, y'all need to have a long conversation about why you feel that way. Because odds are it's rooted in an insecurity that is kind of unfair to put on the other person, in my mind. There's always room for conversations, discussions, compromises, what have you, but to label that as cheating and then hold them to that standard of, oh, you looked at X, how dare you? Especially when it's like you're in a relationship where your partner is continuously emotionally abusive, odds are you're not going to be attracted to her all the time. Not saying that that's like, oh, that means you're justified in going out and sleeping around or whatever. But it's like, if someone's looking at porn, it's better they look at that than actually cheat. And it's not like it's this gateway drug of, if they're watching this, that means they will cheat. Odds are it's reverse of, if you try to put harsh boundaries on things like that, of you can't talk with other women, you can't look at other women, you can't do this, you can't do that, within reason, right? Like, you know, you loving up and liking every other girl's Instagram, Facebook page, you know what, you have a conversation about that, you say how you feel about that. But when you try to control every single little aspect in this kind of case, you are begging to get your feelings hurt, especially when you behave how you behave, and still expect him to only have nice words for you, only have attraction towards you, when even if he looks at you wrong, you're screaming at him. This isn't the case of you try to be the perfect girlfriend and you did all these things, you're nice, you're this, you're that, and then you're still not enough and he's cheating on you this and he's having conversations around this. No. He needed an outlet where someone was not constantly abusing him. And maybe you said you liked hearing nice words. Maybe he liked hearing nice words too sometimes. It does not sound like you gave them genuinely. It seems like anything you do positive for someone else always has a string attached and is always transactional. All that to say, go through your person's phone at your own risk. But sorry, like, okay, I swear I will get back to the interrogation one day, but today is not the day, and I have more things to cover in this. That she ended up sending out in parts. She sent parts to George, parts to his family. She messaged some of the women that he was talking to. Just all of the lovely toxic things that just scream, I'm a battered spouse. He won't let me escape. I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as I can, no promises, but she's very jealous from the start. Obviously, he's cheating, or not even cheating. Oh yeah, this all originally started because in the interrogation, she said, he's cheating. No, he's not. He didn't cheat on me. It's on his phone. Well, cheating is cheating. I think so too. Exactly. And you proven in this whole diatribe that you think this is cheating. You even said this is cheating. So just another lie to the detectives. And it's just cruel because it starts happy and then the whiplash of the, oh, we should do this. I'm so lovely, happy you do this. I love when you send me songs like that. Well, you do to her. And then I'm going to go on and just rip into you. That is the whiplash he probably lived with daily of you're the best human who's ever lived versus you are Satan himself in the span of minutes. Also, who the fuck's Ben and John? So now you're admitting that you're cheating too? So whoever Ben is that you've gone out with a few times here and there, is that not you cheating? You are actually going out with them. He's just talking to people on the phone. Yours seems like more cheating to me than his. Because you brought it to real life. And you also mentioned that your friends introduced you to something on that June 15th body cam footage. So 11 days before you wrote this, you went on some meeting, date, interaction with someone else who you said your friend said was a gentleman, but he was not a gentleman.
Okay, so why is he over here today?
Can't go with the one the other. That's what he told me.
Okay, so
I'm not allowed to leave him.
you're not okay.
How many people both know?
Okay.
He's mad because I went out with my girlfriend.
Okay.
And she introduced me to another gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a gentleman. He's not a gentleman. And he got pissed. Because I technically left him 2 weeks ago, which is why he's not here now. And he's mad because I have friends. I have friends. And my friends want me to get out of my gloomy, doomy bullshit. So they try to introduce me to nice gentlemen, whom he is not.
And she just says it belligerently, and so I'm like, so you went on a date? Okay. But he's the cheater. Okay. And that's exactly what I was talking about. You guys can't pretend y'all are going to be the exception, your quote, no competition girl, when y'all have been stepping out on each other in your past relationships as well. And she also loves to say he was divorced twice.
Cars that he's wrecked, ex-wives' cars. He's been divorced twice.
And you were divorced once, okay? What? Are we keeping a tally sheet here? Is he worse for 2 divorces and you're not for just 1? I don't think anyone's bad for a divorce, but if you're going to use that as a value judgment. Threatens, how about you put up your mugshots? Or wait, I will because I have your phone and login. You know things victims say to their violent abusers all the time. I'm going to threaten to expose you with something that might bring shame on your personal device that I now have control over and full access to. Definitely a battered woman. She even called herself his wife in this. And there's other things in the past where she has referred to their son to George as, quote, our son, meaning that George formed a connection with him, and then at least in conversations with Sarah, they would reference him as, quote, our son sometimes when he was over. Obviously, you know, there's the distinctions. Brian is the actual father. He knows this. No one was confused about that. But that just makes it even sadder if he felt he had a strong enough connection when he was around this boy for 3.5 years, enough to call him, at least to himself. I don't know if he ever called this or if he ever said this to the son himself, but he considered him like his own son. And George does have a son, a special needs son in Philadelphia who he hadn't really seen in years or was regularly involved with. So I'm sure there was some connection there of what you're missing out on or something like that. So the fact that Melissa, the property manager, says that she saw them playing outside all the time and that she only saw George playing with him and never saw Sarah playing with him was also spoke volumes.
George was the one I always seen driving the vehicle. George is the one I always seen playing with the child. Never saw Sarah outside playing with her kid, ever. As a matter of fact, most of the time, you would find him riding around the property on his bike, unattended. No parents outside, no nothing.
But it just makes it sadder because you killed that man who considered your son our son. Of course, you didn't actually think of that in that way, but you allowed him to believe that. Just like you allowed him to believe that you were his wife when y'all weren't actually married. But you want to call him a wife beater, so that's why. Again, very anti-porn, says, and even after you swore on your kids and parents, I'm like, something tells me he didn't swear on it, but rather you forced him to swear on his kids and child's lives. Why? Because in the videos we see, one, we know what's upcoming in this video of you swearing on your child's life, and I will lose my mind when we get there. But even on another video, you have him saying, even after you begged and cried and pleaded for me to take you back after watching porn, and you still did it anyway. And he wasn't admitting to it. He was admitting to watching porn. He wasn't admitting to begging, pleading, crying, or whatever. He was just agreeing with literally anything she said.
I was watching porn with she don't like that. I'm not shrugging my shoulders or anything like that. Like it's not a big deal.
After you begged and pled and cried.
Yeah.
We trust you.
I know. I'm not shrugging my shoulders.
Say it. Begged, pled, cried.
You begged?
I didn't. You did.
Well, whatever. I know. Okay, yeah, I did.
Say it.
I begged and
pled and cried. For me to trust you.
For you to trust me. But again, I'm not sure.
Did you?
Did I watch porno again? Yes, I did. But
good.
And then her last words are on there like, good, before she turns it off because she got him to say what she wanted him to say, so she was content with it after berating him. She says, I have heartbreak going through your phone, but it was all to but thank you for proving me right. She also said, what, at the end, I am always right. You think you'd be different, so I wouldn't have to be. This is bananas, but speaks exactly to her personality and how she sees things. And it connects to what I talked about earlier with she thinks she's always right. She just said it. So if I think that he's okay locked in the suitcase all night, then he is. You are the one who doesn't know how to do anything. I'm the one who had to get your ID, your registration card, your birth certificate. And in my mind, I'm like, this is a lot. Did you have to get this? Or did you offer and insert yourself? As you said, like to offer feedback and point him in the right direction as if you are in the right direction yourself, your jobless, penniless self. And that speaks to what she said earlier with the put it on me. I'll try to figure it out like I have almost everything.
Is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you like I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Just get it out of you. That means you were trying to insert yourself in his entire life, offer feedback on what he should and shouldn't do, and you're mad if he didn't take your advice. It's one thing to help him get his ID. Maybe he just didn't fill out the application, didn't whatever. Getting that is not as abnormal. Getting the birth certificate is just, you just order it. So you didn't have to help him get it. That is just something you say, oh, let's order that. And then the voter registration card, I'm like, are these things that he could have done himself? You're making it sound like you had to do it or he asked you to do it, when it sounds like you inserted yourself, offered and did it yourself, and now are saying you are so ungrateful. I can't stand when people do that myself, when they offer assistance, offer things that seem charitable, and then hold that over you down the line of, see, but what happened when I did this? What happened when I did that? Okay, well then you were doing it transactionally. let me know up front of, hey, I'll help you out here if you'll help me out later, and I'll choose whether or not I want to accept your help. Because if I knew you were going to hold it over my head, I would have figured out how to get my own ID card. I would have figured out how to get my own birth certificate. But no, you like doing this, so it makes you sound like a better person, and you can guilt people with it later. She says, you will never change. You stole my debit card, which put you back where you belong. Just contradicting the day of. I had no idea. I had no idea when I called the police and told them to come over here to arrest you that they would actually come over here and arrest you.
Babe, I had no idea.
Jesus Christ.
She brings up the stab wound. I'm like, he had facial reconstruction surgery. So if you really want to go tit for tat, that happened because you go in saying he beat you, he beat you, he beat you. We now know what it means for you to say he beat you. It could mean a scratch on your inner ear. It could mean a lump on your head from getting kicked while mid-strangling someone. So who knows what actually happened on that day, but you stoked it up, and that resulted in him literally having his face broken. You know, like you're talking about this little stab wound that other conflicting narratives say that you could have just been playing with broken glass outside in a fight or something, and then that's how it happened. You called it poking you in the back of the leg earlier in this interrogation, because it does not seem like it was intentional or malicious. It seems like it was something that happened while they were doing whatever it is. I imagine they were fighting, but I don't think the intention was for her to get stabbed in the back of the leg. But we know that she just held this over him forever, because she still couldn't even stop bringing it up at sentencing again and again and again, because it's one of the few injuries she actually has from him that is sustained. And honestly, I don't even know if it has from him, but has from him being involved. Lied to sheriffs. Yeah, we know you lied to sheriffs plenty of times.
But this also isn't the first time, so, with both you guys, with the cops out here.
No.
Okay.
I've had to lie to you guys 3 times.
And you shouldn't have to do that, so let's make this maybe the last time.
Now I'm not lying.
And I appreciate that.
You're now saying you lied to sheriffs to protect him, when you probably lied to sheriffs to get them there to begin with. By stoking something up, saying he did all of this, all of that, it was the worst thing to ever happen. And then when the sheriffs arrive and they're like, okay, we're going to arrest him. Well, no. It wasn't too bad. He didn't do anything. It's fine. Everything's fine. You can just go away. And then when they leave, she gets to go, see, I protected you. They were going to come in here and arrest you, and I told them not to. Because he never hears the conversations she has on the 911 calls. So he doesn't know the stark difference between what she tells them on the phone, tells them in person, and what he is allowed to say. That's why most of the times whenever he's talked to, he always asks, what did she say? And on the surface, if he is the abuser, it's like, oh, you're just trying to get knowledge so that you can counteract it and say, oh no, that's not true, which on some level he is trying to do that, but he's trying to find out what he can bring up and what he can't bring up, because if he knows if he's actually telling the truth of all the times she hits him, something will happen to her, and then that means it will happen to him when she gets out. So was she arrested for fighting for her life? Again, I don't know anyone who has defended themselves by strangling. That is not a defensive move. That is a very offensive move. Offensive and deadly. Said, you took my car, important necessities, especially having children. Always got to amp it up. Does her child have a counselor from you hitting her in front of him? Brian told the police that the son hadn't witnessed any physical violence between the two. He had witnessed arguments, but not physical violence. And something tells me the son would mention if there was physical violence. And if the son has a counselor, he would definitely mention the counselor came involved from watching his mom get hit. Absolutely not. It may have been from his mom. Like he needed a counselor because of what he was going through when he was over there. But I doubt that he would need a counselor from watching George hit you, especially when he grew up watching you hit his dad. So he's not unfamiliar with a parent striking a spouse. But then what confused me was she's saying she lied to DCF so Child and Family Services, to not get them taken away or her arrested, meaning not to get her child taken away. He would not have gotten taken away. Your rights would have been taken away. Your visitation rights, your custodial rights would have been taken away. But the son would have just lived with Brian like he normally does. Or her arrested, which would be you in this instance. Yeah, you're telling me you lied to Family Services so you wouldn't get arrested or lose your son. How is that George's fault? That you lied. But that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what she would need to lie to Family Services about to avoid getting arrested. Unless there's some other instances in the past, which I'm sure there are, that we don't know about, but it seems like it's more of a her issue than a he forced you to lie in order to protect yourself and your child, who was barely over. Pets kicked and told hated. Here's the thing about the pets kicked as well. I have known many of people who, if they see their pet getting scooted to the side by someone's leg or foot, you kicked my dog? How dare you? You moved it. I need to go to sleep. But to say that I have seen people interpret interactions with pets in a very extreme way, that people, if those same actions occurred to other humans or other animals, would not deem it as such. That is a delicate plane to land, but I think you get what I'm saying. And if he ever said that he did hate the dogs, I would question what tone did he say it in. Like, was it after something annoying happened? Was it in jest? Was it, I don't know. But you said he loves the dog, he's playing with the dog, happy with the dog. I don't know. Both could be true. Who knows? Does she have a black eye? We saw that black eye at trial and we have questions. A lot of people are saying it looks like she used Sharpie on it, and you're not wrong. It does. And the issue for me is it's because it's a harsh line. Bruises dissipate into the skin because the bruise is actually under the skin and not on top of it, like a harsh Sharpie line would be. There's not swelling in the areas there should be swelling. Her eye in the black eye should be redder, or if it's black, that means there's a lot of ruptured and bruised blood vessels. There would be swelling attached to it. You would not be able to open your right eye the same way you could open your left eye. That is not. And in the picture, you can see both of her eyes are open at the exact same point and the exact same clearness. If your eye has that much strain, that swollen, that damaged, odds are it's going to look more red than pure white, or just as white as the other eye. That's not to say she never got hit in the eye or this or that, or maybe got a little black eye or something, but the picture she showed in trial, it looked like it had either been amped up or just completely drawn on in general, because it was pitch black as well on her very, very fair skin. She brought up lying about porn again and swearing on your children again. She can't let that go. You make life shit. You're a snake and you can crawl on your belly like no other. I don't like that line for some reason particularly. It feeds into the, in my mind, squirm a little bit or whatever it is. It feels like she spent many times towering over him while he's in a fetal position or what have you. I don't know. I have nothing to back up that basis, but hearing that and then just following that, filtering that through everything we know, gave me just this idea of she stood over him a lot. Stood over him while the police are arresting him, while he's asleep, while he's in bed asleep, while he's outside on the floor asleep. She feels real confident stepping up to him when he's asleep. She said, I can't wait to be with Ben, a real man who will and has already taken care of me, meaning you're cheating. Like what? And then ending it with the, I feel so ugly inside and out, especially when you call other women beautiful. You are ugly inside. I'm not going to say anything about the outside. Enough people have already done that for me. But on the inside, you are just nasty. Very cruel and spiteful. If you feel ugly on the inside, you can fix that. That is something that you can definitely change. You haven't wanted to. But unfortunately, I think that's only gotten worse since when you were out of jail. I mean, now reflecting back, seeing how this was her day-to-day life, it was only a matter of time before she was getting arrested and put away for a long time for some reason. I mean, she was only divorced from Brian for 1.5 years in total. She was with George for 3.5 years, okay, and already had this many run-ins and interactions with the police. And that covers a whole lot of this cheating mess and answers so many things that she's been asked in this interrogation already. So while it took a while to cover it, I think it's important because these are all of her talking points. These were still her talking points she had at sentencing. So it means something to her now, meaning it meant something to her then, meaning it meant something to her in this interrogation. All right, now back to the show.
Dismissed. Bring in the dancing lobsters.
And that was the show. Like I said, this was just going to be a little segment from the video. It's funny that, 45 minutes is just a little segment from that video. But if you enjoyed this little segment, then make sure that you go check out the full interrogation video. That will be linked down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you remember to like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you're feeling it. Until next time.